Oh my god. So I went to the Waverly Farmers Market today and they have so many food options. But I went to Paradise Island Cuisine and I got this oxtail and shrimp bowl. Also got one of their refreshers. This is like cucumber turmeric. Perfectly tart and sweet. Okay, now let's get into the bowl. The bowl comes with rice, crispy kale, and then you get some Creole sauce on top. The fried shrimp. It's lightly breaded. It goes so well with the creamy Creole sauce. Let's try the rice. Let's get some of the oxtail. I forgot about the kale. Oh my god. I should have got extra kale. I love the oxtail, but you can't go wrong with fried shrimp. Everything is so flavorful. Oxtail is tender. It goes so good with the kale.
Hi everyone, I'm Madison. I'm a biomedical engineer, and today I may post my most controversial video, but I don't care. I need to say this clearly. Racism is not just hateful, it's scientifically illiterate, and biology proves this. Humans share 99.9% of their DNA. So that means the genetic code of any two people, no matter the skin color, is nearly identical. The tiny fraction of a difference accounts for things like eye color, hair type, and yes, skin tone. There are no separate races within biology. There's one human species with minor variations. So the cells behind skin color. Skin color comes down to one type of cell called the melanocyte. Melanocytes live in the epidermis and produce something called melanin, which is the pigment that colors our skin, hair, our eyes. And the science behind this is that all humans have roughly the same number of melanocytes. The difference is how much melanin those cells make, what type of melanin they produce, and how it gets packaged within the skin. So there's eumelanin, which is the brown and black pigments, and then there's pheomelanin, which is the red and yellow pigments. So that's it. That's the shades of your skin, and it isn't about having different biology. It's just about how much pigment your cells produce. So evolution is what causes this, not some superiority complex. So why we see different skin colors around the world has to do with an evolutionary adaptation to sunlight. So near the equator, there's high UV radiation, which meant the darker skin offered protection. It shielded the DNA from mutations and preserves folate, a vitamin that was crucial for fetal development. So when you go further from the equator, there were lighter skinned people, and this helped them absorb more UV light to make enough vitamin D in regions with weaker sunlight. So overall, skin color evolved kind of like sunscreen strength. It customized to the geography. It's not a measure of your worth. So the truth about racism is that genetically humans are almost identical. Biologically, skin color is controlled by the melanocytes adjusting pigment. And evolutionary, it's about adapting to sunlight. So racism exists because of a lack of understanding of basic biology. So when you know the science, the idea of a race as a hierarchy collapses instantly. And this is why the science matters, because it doesn't just live within the labs and textbooks, it reveals the truth. And the truth is, skin color is a simple adaptation. And racism is nothing more than ignorance of biology. So yeah, bye.
So let me get this straight. Marie Antoinette literally said, let them eat cake, and she still got her head separated from her body. Fast forward a couple years, 2025, now you got 40 million people, give or take, out of 300 something million that are going to be insecure in their food come Friday. Like literally, they have said effectively, let them starve. And we're just sitting around waiting for that day to roll around, literally on our phones, like, LOL, guys, stomach just rumbled in class. Like, dead people cannot oppress. Dead people can't revolt either, but The oppressors know that good and well, which is exactly why 40 million of you are about to start starving come November 1st. They know this very well. That's exactly why children and women in Gaza and in Sudan and in Congo, all over the world, by these regimes are being taken out. Not just the men. Because dead people can't revolt, but they can't oppress either. Dead people can't do a whole lot. They tend to be unable to do that, but a lot of people seem to be uncomfortable with acknowledging death. Just as a thing, it will happen. It is happening. We all will do it. And if we want it to come in a more peaceful way to the people whom are being exploited up until that point and being taken out in such a horrific way, death has to end death. Like, they didn't put a fatwa on Trump and Netanyahu for no reason. There's not a bounty on their heads just because people want to play around. There are others in this world who recognize what needs to be done, and I feel like us as Americans are being really fucking pussy right now. We're being really fucking pussy right now. And again, I'm not saying that you have to get blood on your hands. If you do, I'll wash them for you. Fuck. if it's the right dude, I don't care saying that, and neither should you anymore. You shouldn't. I have no fear saying that with my full face on this page with all 300,000 of you or what the fuck ever, because that's how I believe, and that's how a lot of people I speak to in real life believe too, but y'all are scared. Y'all are genuinely scared of what would happen in a world like that, and I'm scared of what is happening in the world that we live in right now. The world in which people go around shooting oppressors, to me, seems infinitely better than the one in which the oppressors go around shooting and killing us. Shooting and killing babies and violating them and children and women and men. Like, everyone has gotten the short end of the stick. Everyone has gotten the short end of the stick except for the people who are passing them out. I have no fear, and neither should you, and I hope that someone, has enough courage to fucking take that to heart. Dead people cannot oppress.
Last time I seen the sun, just for a few hours, it was free.
And I open up my eyes, something just feels right. 'Cause I can see the dark. It's not so far away. Some of my life I've been waiting for a day like today.
So I live like it's the last time for a long time, and the wrong time is the right time, is the right time. And if I'm
Sudan is experiencing a genocide. Here's everything you need to know. It's a lot, so bear with me. Sudan plunged into civil war in April of 2023, and since then, hundreds of thousands of Sudanese people have been killed and millions have been displaced. All starts with the overthrow of Sudan's authoritarian government and their leader Omar al-Bashir in 2019. Sudan's people have been begging for a democratically elected government since Omar al-Bashir came into power in 1989. The overthrow of al-Bashir was perpetrated by two different groups, the RSF, the Rapid Support Forces led by a man named Hemeti, the SAF, the Sudanese Armed Forces led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. He promised that when al-Bashir was overthrown, a democratically elected government would be instated, but that never happened. Thousands of Sudanese people protested between 2019 and 2023, and thousands of Sudanese protesters were killed. The country was low on money. They were experiencing famine. They were experiencing a corrupt government still. 2022, December 2022, al-Burhan said, hey, I will establish a democratically elected government as long as the RSF and the SAF combine to one Sudanese army, and I am the military leader. Mehdi did not like that. April 15, 2023, a civil war between the two groups broke out, with the Sudanese common people in the middle. Fighting spilled out into the rest of Sudan, including Darfur, Western Sudan, and the capital city of Sudan, Khartoum. Since 2023, hundreds of thousands of Sudanese people have been killed. The U.S. envoy for Sudan estimating over 400,000 deaths, 12 million displacements, with Sudanese people fleeing into neighboring countries such as Chad, Ethiopia, and South Sudan. The RSF is being funded and trained and supported by the UAE and Russia, who has military secret groups on the ground in Sudan. The SAF is being supported by Iran. More powerful countries are looking at this civil war and this genocide as chess pieces on a board. Men, women, and children are being killed and gunned down every day indiscriminately by the RSF, and has been pleading for humanitarian aid, and it just simply hasn't come. And the two sides are unwilling to come to the table to broker any kind of deal. Greatest humanitarian crisis on the planet.
Your body is still holding on to all the trauma that you have acquired over your life. And I know talk therapy seems like it's supposed to be the end all be all of this healing journey that you're on, because that's how I thought, but that's not quite true. And I want to explain it in an analogy because I came up with this because it helped me to understand what it was that I was missing in my own healing journey. Imagine that you have a house and somebody took a big ass rock and threw that bitch into your window, shattering it. You're distraught. You don't know what to do. You're like, oh my God. You're crying all the damn time. So you decide to go ask somebody for some help. You go to like a home improvement store or something like that, and you go and ask somebody for a consultation on how to fix a window. They tell you everything that you need to do. They send you down to the right aisles to go get the tools. You even go so far as to purchase the tools, and you're like, great, I'm all set. Then you get back home and you look at the window and you're like, the window is still broken. Why is the window still broken? That to me is what talk therapy and where I'm at in my journey feel like. I feel like I've gotten all the tools and it's like I know how to use them, but why is my window still broken? Because you haven't actually put any action behind fixing the window. And that is where somatic therapy comes in. This workbook right here is going to actually help you get up and fix that window. Put the action behind re-regulating your nervous system. It comes with over 100 exercises in here. This is a self-paced book, so you go at whatever speed is most comfortable for you without pushing yourself and re-traumatizing yourself in the process, okay? And it gives you a lot of guided instructions step by step so you understand what's happening and why it's happening. This has helped me take the next step in my healing journey, and this is actually helping me fix that broken window that I have been screaming about for years, because I've been in therapy for a long time, and I'm kind of upset that this is the first time that I'm interacting with somatic therapy. So if you still see that link, this is your time to go ahead and get the proper tools to help you fix your broken window, okay? I'll talk to you later, Buki. I love you.
The phrase in the ethos, "it's not that deep," always sends me into orbit, and I'm seeing it being used against Samira this week after her criticism of those parking meters in Los Angeles. And I hate that phrase and that ethos because it is always deployed against marginalized people who are offering some sort of critique of a structure or system that is perpetuating harm against them. And in Samira's case, she is calling out a really clear instance of fat phobia, but because folks are either uncomfortable with that criticism or find that criticism annoying, they're sort of hand waving away the larger point that she's making and acting as if the criticism she's making and as if this parking meter and what that sign reads isn't rooted in a larger history of fat phobia and diet culture in our society. And as I talk about in the piece I wrote about this for my Substack, this same sort of thing also happens to other people of other marginalized identities, right? It happens against folks of color when we are talking about instances of racism, either individual or structural, right? We get accused of, quote, playing the race card when instead what we're actually doing is just critiquing systems of power. This also happens to women when they are critiquing men and the patriarchy, and it also happens to folks when they are calling out systems of economic inequality as well. And all of this happens because we live in a society that is meant to perpetuate systems of power that privilege the white, the thin, the cisgender, the heterosexual, etc. And so when marginalized folks are talking about instances of marginalization, it is literally always that deep, right? Because our society is meant to perpetuate systems of power in ways that are insidious and subtle. And so even when you feel like you don't agree or you don't see them, I think that the best course of action is to always just affirm the experience of marginalized folks and listen to them when they say that something is happening to them. Also, this video should be an ad for Rode microphones because the subtle like clattering you hear in the background is my wife making breakfast 2 rooms away. But the mics are so good that they like picked up on that ambient noise. So like, hey, they work pretty good.
So my sister was watching this top 10 video on YouTube, right? Like Watch Mojo-esque top 10 times cops acting crazy, right? And in one of them, this couple's having this dispute in their front yard, right? And I guess someone calls the cops. When the cops show up, they're talking to the couple in the front yard. I'm sorry. Y'all know how I get. They split the couple up. The husband's over by the cop car with a couple of other cops, just talking. The wife is talking with another cop in her front yard, and their dog is also in the front yard, just playing with toys. When the dog approaches the cop, just approaches to like sniff his leg or something, he shoots the dog like twice, and then he slips on ice because it's winter. He slips on ice and shoots the wife in the face. Now I guess this is like body cam footage that the YouTube channel is like showing, and the cops are like, they're holding the husband back, like by the car. He is distraught. He's like, what the fuck happened? My wife's on the ground. The dog isn't moving. 2 other cops are sitting by the wife. She ain't even dead yet. She did die, but she's not dead yet. And they're just like freaking out about themselves. He's like, oh my God, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. They didn't call nobody. They didn't do nothing to help her. They are just like worried shitless about their own asses. She doesn't even know what happened. She's slowly dying and she's like, what happened? Why am I, huh? And then she just dies. And then in another one, this lady, I think they're on a subway, and like she catches fire. They see her. She did not light herself on fire. She catches fire somehow. There are cops all around her. She's walking towards them for help because like her back is on fire and they are desperately trying to get away from her. They're pulling their guns on her. They're not even letting other people help her. They're telling everyone to stay away. They have their guns drawn on her because she keeps trying to get to them for help. And they're like, oh, no. Because they don't want to catch fire. And so they just let her die. People have to watch because the cops won't let anyone help. And she just died. And as me and my sister are watching it, it reminds us, does anyone remember this situation? It was like years ago where this lady is in the back of this cop car with these other 2 cops. I think the 2 cops are also women. The lady in the back of the cop car is also a woman. They are like driving her to the station, I presume. They stop at a light and they stop on tracks, like train tracks, and the car stalls. As they're trying to like start the car, the train comes. And as it's coming, they can't start the car. There's not gonna be time to figure out what the fuck is wrong. They just get out of the car and they leave the lady in the back of the squad car. She is screaming for her fucking life. Please come and get me out of here. Please help me. They just leave her there. They have ample time to save this woman, and they don't. Does anyone remember that story? They stand there at the edge of the tracks as this lady is screaming for her life, trapped in the back of this squad car, and then the train just, it hits the car. Fire everywhere. It tears the car apart. And she survived. We went on talking about this for like a fucking hour. I could not have woken up in that hospital. I could not have woken up. First thing I'm doing when I realize I am still on this mortal plane, I'm turning to the nurse. Am I alive? She'll be like, yeah, you did survive. Will I recover? Well, it's gonna be, will I recover? With enough physical therapy, yes. I'm thanking the devil, because this is not the work of the Lord. What I am about to do to those 2 cops, a screenwriter somewhere prayed for that to happen to me. The true crime story that just fell in your lap, my entire personality is about to be what I will do to Kill Bill. Ain't got shit on me. If I'm not mistaken, that lady just sued and got like a couple mil. I'm sure. No shade to her, obviously. And then like the cops, I think, were just let go. That was it. How do people, American police officers, all these stories were American, by the way. All of them were American, obviously. How do people not, because it really doesn't happen that often. People do not cops all that often, and I'm really not sure why. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna keep trying to call him. Yeah, because this is getting ridiculous. I mean, he gotta pick up eventually.
What?
Thank goodness
Finally.
you answered.
Jesus.
Yeah, what's going on? Are you okay? Yeah, we tried to call you like a million times. Your location hasn't moved in 4 days. You're like not even to see your man.
We broke up, y'all.
Oh, stinker. Kill him. Isaiah, I'm so sorry. Wait, did he say why? Did he give you a reason why?
I don't know. He said some bullshit about not being ready for a relationship and wanted to focus on himself.
Wait, didn't he pursue you first? That part.
Right.
Kill him. Yeah, the math ain't mathing. Do you even believe that?
I don't know. He said he was stuck. I don't know.
Stuck at a 3rd grade reading level, maybe. No, I don't believe that for a second. He's a dumbass, okay? He couldn't even come up with a good excuse. Okay, like, that don't even make no type of sense. At all. Honestly, that's a sign, okay? He had no motivation, no drive. He didn't have shit going on. Got him. Yup. Got what? What you got? Apparently, he was at STK last night with Joseph Rogers. Who is that?
That's his ex.
Oh, you done fucked up. Oh, you done fucked up. Yep, don't worry about it. Yep. Wait, and this is the same one he was talking about. Oh, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Yeah, we just cool. The line through his goddamn teeth. Hi, yes, I would like to report a crime. Yeah, a very unattractive man with a small penis has 3 people held hostage in his basement. Isaiah, hang up the phone. Hang up the phone. Hang up the phone, okay? What are you doing? You trying to get him locked up? How is you cool? Oh, he was going to be fine. As long as he ain't got nobody locked up in his basement, he should be out by Monday. Isaiah, please.
Y'all, I don't want to talk about this man. Please. Let's talk about something else.
Fine, but we're still coming over to your house, so.
Y'all don't have to come over.
No, we don't have to, but we will. Yeah. Okay, I got the wine. I got the ice cream. Clean that couch up. See you in 20 minutes. Thank you.
Please watch this for the people of Sudan. Please, it is extremely urgent. So you know how I have said that the people of Sudan are in urgent need of food and medicine? In this video, we're going to be discussing a recent massacre in a Sudanese hospital. And when I say a Sudanese hospital, I mean the last standing functioning Sudanese hospital. So please, I am begging you, listen to this. I found an article that I am going to read from. Again, as always, I am going to put the link in the comments for anybody who wants to read it in full. And I urge you to please go and read this in full. The article reads, Sudan's conflict, hospital massacre caps long series of attacks on healthcare in war-torn nation. As fighters from the Rapid Support Forces paramilitary closed in on government positions in the besieged Sudanese city of Al Fasher in October, a skeleton crew from the city's last functioning hospital treated a surge of wounded in a makeshift emergency room. Shells pounded the area around Saudi hospital, hitting civilians and combatants. It felt like doomsday, said one nurse. Her scrubs became soaked with blood as patients streamed in. Staff wrapped wounds and broken limbs in mosquito netting, having run out of gauze and tourniquets. We had to jump over dead bodies to get to the patients, the nurse said. We couldn't bury them because the drones were overhead. The next day, 26th October, shelling continued and RSF fighters entered the hospital, a witness said. On 27th October, RSF fighters brought Abdallah Yusuf, a trader they had abducted on the road. Yusuf told Reuters he saw bodies scattered throughout the compound, children, women, elderly people, and patients who had been too sick to flee. He said he watched RSF fighters taking people from the hospital. Some were held for ransom, others were killed. They took the young men and killed them in the street, Yusuf said. The World Health Organization reported that shelling of Saudi hospital killed one nurse and injured 3 other health workers on 26th October. In a separate attack on 28th October, the WHO said more than 460 patients and their companions were shot and killed there. Reuters was unable to confirm the date or death toll. Satellite imagery from 28th October reveals signs of mass killings at Saudi hospital. The images show clusters of human-sized objects, according to an analysis by Yale Humanitarian Research Lab. Later, images show what appears to be bodies being burned. A violation of Islamic burial customs, with white oblong objects visibly charred with black smoke emitting, according to Yale researchers. There is so much more in that article that I really would like to encourage you to go read. Please go read that article. This is what I mean when I say that aside from food, these people need medication urgently. Their hospital is under attack, which means that the only place they can get treatment most of the time is in the displacement camps. But the organizations in the displacement camps, well, the Sudanese organizations made by the people for the people, do not have immediate access to the funding they need to get the medication. If you'd like to support our initiative for Sudan in getting them food, medication, and other aid items, please donate to the first link in my link tree. By making a donation there, you would not only be supporting the people of Sudan, you would also be helping us complete our projects across Africa and serving underserved communities here in the US. If you're not able to make a donation, that is perfectly fine. Remember that your engagement is currency, and in engaging with this video as much as you can, you are helping us get to the funding that is needed. And if you care to support one more initiative, please help us bring food and warm clothing to unhoused communities here in Baltimore, Maryland this winter. To do that, you can either purchase off the winter wish list that is linked in my link tree, or you can make a monetary donation to our food drive campaign that is also in my link tree. Don't let this video disappear into the noise. All safe hands on deck.
Pennies no longer being produced will actually affect a lot of people. At first, I was just thinking about it in the terms of going to the store and not getting your exact change back, and so they have to round up, and therefore they're making more profit, but technically they're taking more money from the consumer. I thought that was like the issue, but then I realized this would just be like a chain reaction to them getting rid of currency. So like they would start with pennies, but then over time we would basically become a country that only uses digital currency. And therefore you would have to have a phone or some sort of electricity to be able to access your money. And then that made me think of people who don't have homes and live on the streets. And if cash is basically useless, then how would they get the money? And if they don't have electricity or a phone, how can they access that? And then on top of that, now if everyone is solely reliant on their money being able to be accessed through technology, then what happens if there's an issue with technology where it blacks out? What happens if there's an issue with the technology where there's some sort of spyware, malware, something, hack, and like all of it's digital and there's no cash? So there's no way to actually go about getting any other means of having that money. Like, I think it would just be a domino effect of things like that. Like, yeah, right now it's just the penny that they're taking away, but like that's going to basically cause companies to change the prices so they can make more money. And then over time, we will just become a digital currency country. And then when that happens, what happens to the people who don't have access to technology and electricity, if that's the only way you can access your money? Like, that's diabolical. It really is.
Queer and trans youth no longer exist to the foster care system as a protected group. A federal court just erased their protections and almost nobody knows. My name is Isaac. I'm a third-year PhD student trying to bring social work into the 21st century and building worlds that love us back, and what just happened should horrify anyone who cares about youth in general. In 2024, the federal government created the Designated Placement Rule, a basic requirement that LGBTQIA+ foster youth be placed in homes that are safe, affirming, free from harassment, and free from conversion practices, and that trans youth be housed consistent with their gender identity. But this week, ACF released Information Memorandum IM 2506, stating that a federal court has vacated the final rule. Not paused, vacated. That means the protections are gone. Agencies can no longer enforce any federal requirement to keep LGBTQIA+ youth safe in placements, anywhere in the United States. Queer and trans youth are massively overrepresented in foster care. About 30% of foster youth identify as queer and/or trans, compared to about 11% of youth not in care. Around 40% of homeless youth also identify as queer and/or trans. Research from New York shows 78% of LGBTQ+ foster youth left placements because of hostility, and more than half said the streets felt safer than foster care. Once a young person becomes homeless or unstable, the risks skyrocket. Queer youth who have experienced homelessness have nearly 4 times the odds of unaliving attempts compared to those with stable housing. And the Trevor Project reports 46% of trans and non-binary youth seriously considered unaliving themselves in the last year. This is part of a nationwide rollback. Anti-trans legislation removing the LGBTQ+ 988 crisis line, targeting teachers, criminalizing gender-affirming care, and now eliminating federal protections in foster care. When you strip safety from queer and trans youth in foster care, you are not being neutral. You are engineering the conditions for more queer and trans youth to become homeless, trafficked, harmed, or die by unaliving or being unalived. This is policy violence, not an accident. Queer and trans kids deserve safety, they deserve family, and they deserve to grow up. Share this, call your representatives, support your local LGBTQ+ youth centers and shelters, because if we don't fight for these kids, the systems meant to protect them will continue to erase them.
J.K. Rowling and her wizarding world are almost comedically racist. Like, if it wasn't so problematic, I'd be laughing. You know what I mean? Just at the pure foolishness that is the concoction of her racism. I mean, it's not effective it's just offensive and silly. You know what I mean? Like, she must have been writing this. It's all white characters, right? She's like, fuck, oh, I only have white characters. Let's throw in a black guy. Great idea. Love that idea. What are we going to name him? Kingsley Shacklebolt. What? Okay, we need some Asians. All right, let's do some Indian kids. All right, sounds good. What are they going to be named? Parvati and Padma Patel. All right. And then East Asians, yeah, Cho Chang. Cool. And then there's an Irish guy, and he just blows shit up. Okay, and then the bankers, what do they look like? Oh, yeah, they're going to be little hooked-nosed goblins who hoard all the gold. Okay, and then when people called her out for that, she said, no, I'm going to make a movie with Jewish characters. I said, oh, that's great. What are they named? The Goldbergs? Okay, the Goldbergs, great. Yeah, no, that's cool. And I'd want to read to you the list of schools that exist, right? And where they are, okay? So you have Hogwarts for the UK and Ireland, great. You got Ilvermorny in Western Mass for all of North America, okay? You got a Russian one, which is like a made-up Koldovforets, which I don't think is a word in Russian. I'm not sure, though. You got Mahutakoro in Iwo Jima for Japan. Also not sure if that's a real word. You have Bobatons for basically all of Western Europe. You have one in Scandinavia called the Durmstrang Institute. You got Castello Brujo in the Amazon rainforest for, again, all of South America. And then this one's really the kicker. Ugadu in Uganda for the entire continent of Africa. The whole continent of Africa, like, goes to one school. That's interesting. And then also I'd like to note here that China, India, Indonesia, the entirety of Southeast Asia, the entirety of the Middle East, Italy, Germany, the Balkans, none of them have schools. You know what I mean? No schools for you guys. Australia, New Zealand, no schools. Polynesia never learned magic, apparently. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that's about. And how are there no Arabs at a school in England? You know what I mean? That doesn't track. So all of this is to say that aside from the transphobia, we got other problems with J.K. Rowling. You know what I mean? Like, she's transphobic, and that's horrible, and she should be held more accountable. Also racist, and I feel like we joke about it, but I don't know if people really process, like, how deep... The lore goes deeper than... You can look into it. The lore goes way deeper. Like, by the way, like, in the mountains in Uganda that Ugadu is supposedly at are not real mountains. They're, like, mountains that old European cartographers thought existed, but they don't. And I don't think any of these are actual words in any actual languages. She's just making up sounds that sound like names from Africa. What the fuck? What the fuck?
We could not have done it without all of you. All the pleasure was ours. Good boy. Good boy. Loyal lapdog, thank you. You said yes to everything we asked. Friends in genocide. We love Trump and Israel. We love right-wing fascism. Pass the blood.
Bravo, guys.
You
Bravo.
guys serve us. America first? What a joke. You guys serve me. Right, Mr. Trump? America first, right?
America first, Trump?
Yeah.
Maybe look towards Joe Biden and ask him for some of the organs.
Can you give me some of those organs, please? They look delicious. Certainly. I know you love to share. We do. Oh, yes. More blood, yes.
Have you tried the liver?
Always stand with Israel. Always stand with Bibi.
Cups up. Let's get a toast. Let's get a toast. Cups up.
It's a genocide. Genocide started in 2023. Got one strong 2024.
Keep your arms up.
Still going strong 2025. And here's to a new genocide in 2026. Thank you, America, for all your taxes. We love you.
Can you name a queer black couple?
Queen Latifah and her wife.
What's her name?
Cynthia Erivo and Lena Waithe.
Yes, there you go. Can I see you in my office really quick?
Sorry.
You're not going to come on the show called Gaydar.
I'm so sorry.
And not name both lesbians in a lesbian relationship. Hi, I'm Ananiah. This is Gaydar. Rank these Fairly Odd Parents characters in order of queerness. Timmy, Cosmo, Wanda, Vicky.
And this is a test?
Yeah.
To see
It's
my
imperative.
sexuality? I would say the gayest is Vicky.
Okay.
She's a lesbian.
I live.
Timmy? No. Cosmo.
There you go.
Timmy, Wanda.
Wait,
Wanda.
you think Wanda's...
Well,
Okay.
they're all gay.
You found the heart of the question. What percentage of people are intersex?
I know it's more than redheads.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So between gingers, black people, and intersex people, we get it.
Yeah, come on now.
What's the gayest thing that happened behind the scenes if I saw the TV glow?
Yeah, everything was gay. That whole set was full of trans folk, non-binary folk.
The
Me and
question
Jack
is-
would sing like Dear Evan Hansen and run around the woods. I did cartwheels in a dress.
Okay. What's the straightest thing that happened on the set if I saw the TV glow?
Fred Durst was in it.
Sure. Which of the Now You See Me cast do you think has been to a gay wedding?
Jesse, definitely, probably. His kid loves drag queens.
Okay.
He knows all the drag queens.
Do you have a favorite drag queen?
I have a lot of favorite drag queens.
Like?
Silky Nutmeg and
Okay, you. I'm turning the TV off. We're gonna chop that up and post and make it sound like you said Ananiah.
Okay, cool.
Just for Andrew, can you say Ananiah clean?
Ananiah.
Perfect.
Right.
Do you have a favorite drag queen?
Ananiah.
If I had to guess if you were gay, straight, or a homophobe, like, would you just say you're queer? Like, what's T?
I don't allow straight people to call me gay. I think straight people have a limited definition of what gay is.
Talk to them.
If I'm like, oh, my ex-girlfriend, they're like, but I thought that you were gay. And
Right.
I'm like, okay, you're boring.
Right.
And you're basic.
This is what I mean when I say that these Charlie Kirk goons, whenever they talk about a meritocracy, they really mean a society in which white people are the only, if not the predominant, people who succeed. That's it. They don't actually want a meritocracy, because that chick at the University of Oklahoma would never survive a true meritocracy. I don't even know if at that point she would be considered a person anymore. What is she gonna do, argue for her rights? We've seen what she can do. We've seen the limits to her power. Buddy, go ahead and get in them fields, bro, because in a true meritocracy, you're gonna be fucking cattle. And another thing, the only reason the University of Oklahoma put that professor on leave for adequately grading an assignment, they're also trans. The professor is trans. But that's not even why they gave the essay a 0. They are afraid of retaliation from the Trump administration. That's it. I smell a lawsuit, and when all of this is over, every single university who has bent the knee to this administration should not exist anymore. Matter of fact, keep defunding them bitches. Keep defunding them. What do you mean? This person was given a bullshit assignment and you immediately fire them? You're afraid of retaliation. You are not worthy of calling yourself an institution. You are not worthy of saying that you are a place in which people come to learn and grow as people. No more. No, baby. You're a summer camp. Get the fuck on. We should all strive that by the end of this administration, these universities don't exist anymore. You're done. You've shown your hand. You've showed your ass. You don't actually care about education. You care about appeasing the current administration. That's it. You're done. Yo, get them the fuck out. They're done. Get them out.
Today, dozens of House Democrats voted alongside Republicans to condemn socialism. Yes, you heard that right. And this vote happened just before Donald Trump met with the New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani, the Democrat socialist. So definitely not a coincidence. This is House Concurrent Resolution 58, which was introduced on October 24th of this year, literally titled Denouncing the Horrors of Socialism. It was submitted by Representative Maria Salazar along with more than 40 Republican co-sponsors and sent to the House Committee on Financial Services. The resolution claims that socialism has always led to dictatorship, famine, and mass murder, citing Lenin, Stalin, Mao, Castro, Pol Pot, the Kim family, Ortega, Chavez, and Maduro. And it lists death tolls from events like the Great Leap Forward and the Holodomor as proof that any form of socialism is inherently violent. What this resolution actually does is recycle Cold War fear messaging to shut down any conversation about public investment or economic justice. It uses authoritarian regimes as a scarecrow, not because the authors care about human rights, but because any policy that challenges corporate power gets immediately labeled as dangerous. It turns the word socialism into a buzzword thrown onto anything that benefits working people, whether it is healthcare, housing, childcare, or education. This is not a historical argument, it is a political tactic. It is a distraction from the fact that the United States has some of the worst outcomes in the developed world under capitalism. We have record levels of homelessness, families working full-time who still cannot afford food and rent, no universal health care, leaving people bankrupt or dead over basic medical needs, ICE abducting immigrants in the middle of the night, private prisons filled for profit, wages that do not match the cost of living, and a military budget that is larger than the next 10 countries combined. But instead of addressing any of this, Congress is passing symbolic resolutions about socialism as if that is the reason people cannot pay for insulin or childcare. As if socialism explains why rent is unpayable, why student debt destroys entire generations, or why people freeze to death after utilities are shut off. It is easier for both parties to demonize a word than to admit that the system they protect is failing millions of people. Democrats love to claim that they are the defenders of democracy and the only barriers against Trump's authoritarianism. Yet the moment the word socialism appears, they rush to join Republicans to condemn it. Not because they genuinely fear dictatorship, but because they fear any shift in power that threatens corporate donors. Denouncing socialism is a way for them to make sure that nothing fundamentally changes, even as the public grows more desperate. The resolution even tries to legitimize itself by quoting Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, who were the former presidents of the United States. They were slave owners who built their wealth by exploiting human beings. They wrote about liberty and property rights while holding people in chains. Invoking them as moral authorities against wealth redistribution is not only hypocritical, it exposes how deeply this country still clings to the beliefs of men who built their lives on genocide, slavery, and the violent theft of indigenous lands. The idea that the United States was founded on pure individual liberty, as the resolution claims, deliberately ignores the brutality that created this country. The resolution uses the term socialism as a catch-all for anything Republicans want to destroy and anything Democrats are too scared to defend. Universal health care, affordable housing, free public college, food assistance, rent control, labor rights, and childcare are all treated as threats. The strategy is simple. Turn every public good into something frightening. Turn every policy that helps working people into a dangerous ideology. Use fear to stop any change that might reduce inequality or challenge corporations. This resolution is not only stupid as hell, it is dangerous. It is not about history, it is about controlling the narrative. It is designed to scare people into rejecting policies that most Americans want. It is meant to protect capitalism and the elites who profit from it, not democracy, and certainly not the public. The participation of House Democrats shows that the Red Scare never ended. It only evolved into a new form that protects both parties, while working families are told that healthcare, housing, food security, and basic dignity are somehow too radical. The United States is not collapsing because someone might get free school lunch or a rent subsidy. It is collapsing because both parties treat corporate profit as more sacred than human life.
If you were familiar with the comedy/skit side of Instagram, then you probably know who I Am Zoe or Goddamn Zoe is, which means you've probably at least vaguely heard of the situation surrounding him now, and that is, another creator, Fendi, says that Zoe tried to engage with him inappropriately when he was 16. Now, if Famous Birthdays is correct, this would mean that at the time, Zoe was 27. Now, Zoe fired back and says that it's not true and that he will be suing for defamation. Now, while all of that was unfolding, this led people to dig into Zoe's past and find out that apparently this is not the first time he's been accused of such a thing. I couldn't find anything on that, but what I could find is multiple instances of him engaging inappropriately with underage boys.
And you cannot. How old are you?
15.
What the hell? Your lips was pretty though. You eat pussy?
What?
Bite your lip. You a freak. How tall are you, little Puerto Rican or Mexican? What are you, Mexican or Puerto Rican? Oh, you got boxer. Oh, child, you about a good 7.5. Boy, why you trying to tease us right now? Why you showing all that stuff like that? Why you showing your body? Why you being a nasty boy?
Well, see.
These girls will be all in your DM trying to holler at you because you just teased them. You 16, so yeah, a 7 is probably big to you at 16. Please don't be that boy who act like it's all that. Trust me, I know. How old are you, boy?
I'm 16.
Oh, never mind. Too young.
Yeah.
Go to your room and get a pair of your boxers and hold them up like this.
Wow.
Boy, do it before I beat your...
Whether or not you believe the current allegations or the allegations before that, you can at the very least acknowledge that there is a pattern of behavior that has been established. He will come across these boys that he knows are underage because he is asking them how old they are, because usually niggas will try to pull that, I know that was a kid. And despite knowing that they are underage, he will ask them to do things that play into his sexual fantasies. And it could make one wonder, if he's willing to do all this on a public live stream, what is he doing in private?
Did you know that the NAACP once had a black man with blonde hair and blue eyes walk right into lynch mobs because white supremacists didn't realize that he was black? Yeah, his name was Walter Francis White. And that's how he uncovered the truth that this country tried to hide. And once you hear what he did, you'll understand why his name should be everywhere. Walter was born in Atlanta in 1893. Blonde hair, blue eyes, but both his parents were black. And when he was 13, the Atlanta race massacre exploded across his city. White mobs roaming the streets, people fleeing for their lives, buildings burning. He watched it all from his family's rooftop. And that was the moment he learned exactly what this country was. And he carried that memory with him forever. He didn't join the NAACP because he wanted a title or attention. He joined because he wanted the truth. Not rumors, not white newspaper lies. The real facts about racial violence. And he realized something. Because of the way he looked, he could get into places that no other black investigator could safely go. So when towns tried to hide lynchings, Walter walked right in. He traveled to small towns right after the violence happened, when emotions were high and people were still on edge, pretending to be a white journalist. Sheriffs talked to him, politicians talked to him, and mob members bragged to him. They gave him names, motives, details, not knowing they were talking to a black man. He ended up investigating over 40 lynchings firsthand. That's not exaggeration, that's documented. During the Elaine Massacre investigation in Arkansas, his luck ran out. Someone figured him out and word spread fast. Men started gathering with guns. He ran to the train station, jumped on a moving train, and escaped with seconds to spare. Most people would have stopped after that. Walter Francis White went back into the field. He documented the truth that white newspapers refused to print. Police involvement, coordinated mobs, fabricated accusations, crowds treating lynchings like public events, whole towns protecting murderers. His investigation into the lynching of Mary Turner, a pregnant black woman, shook the nation. It forced Congress to confront what the South had been covering up. Walter Francis White didn't fight racism from a podium. He walked into the violence. He walked into the lies. He walked into the same mobs that killed our people and made them hand him the evidence. He didn't just record the truth, he risked his life to drag it into light. That's the kind of revolutionary that America hopes you never learn about. Say his name, Walter Francis White.
It's just something about men crying due to the consequences of their own actions that makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. This is Nawat. He is a Thai businessman and national director of Miss Universe Thailand. He effed around and found out after he disrespected one of the contestants during the sashing ceremony that was live streamed on Facebook and also took place in Thailand. This is the precursor before the Miss Universe beauty pageant that takes place later on this month in Bangkok. The contestant that Nawat tried to bully was Miss Mexico. Her name is Fatima Bosch. What happened is that she did not participate in a promotional photo shoot for the pageant that was supposed to get shared by the contestants on social media. When Nawat confronted her about this during the sashing ceremony and asked her why, Fatima said that basically she was following orders from her team. She had to check in with them first. Nawat got very irritated and in a roundabout way called Fatima dumb for listening to her national director, and when she tried to stand up and advocate for herself, he got even madder and called security on her.
If you follow the order from your national director, you are dumb man.
Mm-hmm.
No, not about you. Not about you. Not about you. It's not about me. It's about all the people that I represent. I didn't give you opportunity to talk. Please keep polite for me. I'm still talking.
After Miss Mexico left the room, many of the contestants stood up in solidarity with her, including the reigning Miss Universe, Miss Denmark, and walked out too.
He called me dumb because he had problems with the organization, and I think that's not fair.
It's not.
Because I'm here and I do everything okay.
Yep.
I don't mess with anyone. I just try to be kind. I'm trying to give my best, and he just shot me, and he just said to me and shut up and a lot of different things.
Yep.
And I think that the world needs to see this because we are empowered women.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is a platform for our voice.
Yes. Since this incident blew up and went viral, not only has the Miss Universe organization issued a statement, but Nawat has apologized quite a few times in tears. However, that was to no avail because according to the president of the pageant, he has all but been dismissed from his duties. He took the frustrations that he had on Fatima's team out on her, and that was not right, that was not professional, and it was just mean. Which is why his power trip ended up biting him in the ass, and now he can sit at home and watch the Miss Universe pageant like everybody else. Let me know what y'all think about this story down below.